And we're live. Hello, I'm Aaron Justin Bryant from Table Knights Entertainment. What?
That was funny. That was so funny.
We're gonna keep that in there. I'm Aaron Justin Bryant from Table Knights Entertainment, and I messed up my own intro. Joining me today are.
I'm Ryan Dalton. I'm also from Table Knights Entertainment. I am going to be playing a female Twilek assassin. It's good to be with you.
My name is Dylan Dalton. I'm Ryan Dalton's brother, also from Table Knights Entertainment, and I will be playing a Rodian named Zek Bomu from the Bomu clan.
And today we're playing Star Wars Edge of the Empire system. This episode is entitled Freedom from Fendo. This is going to be a large campaign project spanning multiple groups and consisting of many episodes, all set within the same universe, so these characters' actions will have effects and possible ripples that affect other characters' stories. So keep that in mind. That being said, we are relatively new to this system. However, I have been doing a lot of studying today. I literally have been writing flashcards. But all that being said, let us begin. And of course, we begin with a title crawl. Can somebody give me a da da?
Da 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 da.
Star Wars: Freedom from Fendo. The Republic has crumbled under the fist of the Empire. From the rubble, opportunistic criminals are finding creative ways to increase the flow of credits. Fendo, a powerful Hutt, increases his pull in the spice trade, and by doing so, increases his already considerable power. Under his employ, an Ebony Twilek and a Rodian Mercenary search for opportunity. And, Zeke, you are cruising along a lesser-known hyperspace route to the edge of Hutt space, and this is galactic north that you're heading. You just got off from Slaharion, and it'll be about 2 hours before you get to Klaatuine. Is there anything that you were doing in particular, or are you just waiting for the end of the trip?
I was going to say, I have it on autopilot at this point, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I'm going to go inspect the cargo.
Alright, as you move through the Royal Raven, you head to the cargo hold and you see a huge shipment of spice. And this is probably your biggest shipment ever. Your commander, Alzane, he's sent you very far on this trip, but he trusts you. You've made plenty of spice runs before, and it hasn't gone wrong.
Yeah.
However, this has been your heftiest haul to date.
And I'm going in alone.
Indeed.
I don't need to mess this up. And I have dealt with this Hutt before.
And yes, you have.
So.
Alright, now before we continue any further, could the both of you please roll a force die? This will set the destiny pool at the start of the game.
Okay. Is that the one at the top, or is that the white die?
It is the white dice.
Just one?
One, and then
Just
press
one. Yep.
Okay.
We both.
Awesome. Okay, so there's two destiny points. One is dark and one is light. I get to use the dark side points to upgrade my own rolls or downgrade yours. And you get to use the light side point to upgrade your rolls or downgrade mine. If someone uses a destiny point in a round, the other person cannot use it. Is that understood?
Understood.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I've actually I noticed that during your other campaign with that one guy, that you could both flip a coin on the same roll to kind of like oppose each other.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, I did too.
Alright, so seeing that your shipment of spice is all well and nice, you are sure and steady on your way to Klaatuine. And there is no foreseeable trouble. And as you pull into Tatooine, you get the normal shebang from Fendo's men, and they hail you on your intercom.
All right. This is the Royal Raven requesting permission to dock.
Royal Raven, this is Fendo's hangar. Royal Raven, you are cleared to dock. Please move to hangar 7.
Understood. Moving to hangar 7.
Thank you, Royal Raven. And they turn off the communications. As you head to Royal Raven, as the Royal Raven heads to hangar 7, you land, and it's a little bit dustier than normal today. Fendo doesn't live in a particularly balmy part of the climate, but I mean, it's a hut. What do you expect?
Yeah.
You get to the hangar, and the docking clamps move from their prone position and just pressurizing around the hull of the Royal Raven. And some of the guys in the tower kind of shield their eyes. You see it, and you have a little smile at that, because you know that they're covering their eyes from how well polished you've kept the bird. And its black, glistening coat just seems to penetrate their eyes.
You don't see it, but I'm smirking.
That's the point. You're supposed to be. That's what your guy is doing right now.
You I assume you're getting off the ship?
So yeah, now that I've parked, I would disembark and go to greet the people.
Alright. As you get off, you notice a couple Gamorreans with some vibro axes and a droid. It's a C-3PO model, and it's got a gray coating, and it says, "Hello. Fendo the Hutt wishes you hello, and good being. How may I be of assistance?"
I'm here to deliver a package to him.
Ah, would you happen to be Zeke?
That I am.
Fantastic. Would you please accompany me to Fendo's office?
Absolutely. Lead the way.
The droid starts shuffling away, and you see the Gamorreans kind of just like looking around your ship, and one of them steps on the ramp to get up into it.
Okay. Is this normal?
You know that sometimes they like to poke around, but I mean, unless they're told to, you don't think that they would normally do this.
Which means they might be trying to steal something on your ship.
Yeah. Okay. As I see them approach, I'm gonna turn and I say, "Hey, watch your hands over there. I gotta count on everything."
And then you see the Gamorrean put his hands up, and then walks away.
Can't understand Gamorrean.
Bro, you got that sound effects game on point.
It's my life.
I know.
In case you haven't noticed.
Props also on your Wookiee from that one previous episode.
Thank you.
Nice.
I spent 3 hours learning basic Shriwook. So the droid takes you to Fendo, and as usual, you see Fendo in his lounge.
I see.
And he's holding a clipboard, and in his other hand, he has a huge Vapo tube. It's huge compared to you. It looks regular size compared to Fendo, and it's connected to it's just connected to a hookah that's as big as you.
Oh, okay, a vapor tube. So it's basically a hookah pen.
He puts it to his mouth, and he notices you walk in, and he raises his hand and waves it a little bit, and then he blows smoke right into your face. And he goes, "Zeke, lovely for you to join me.
Good seeing you too.
He starts swiping things on his data pad.
I say, had a nice leisurely day so far?
I suppose you could say that. It's a lot smoother than most of my time. And he slides back the slime on his head. Like if he had hair, he'd be slicking it back.
What a sleazeball.
He looks to you and takes another. I assume you have something worth my time to be interrupting me.
Yes, I have a shipment here for you. It's the biggest one yet.
I like those words.
If your prices are still good, that is.
Oh, my friends of the Arliss Trading Company. They're always good for you guys. As long as the product continues to be top-notch.
I inspected it on the way here. Everything is good.
And this is 100% pure spice?
Yes, it is.
My detectors will determine that. You don't mind a little extra inspection, do you?
Absolutely not. As long as I can supervise.
Fantastic. Let's see. He brings up his data pad and starts struggling through things, and he says, yes, 100 units of spice. Is that correct?
Thereabouts?
I don't deal in thereabouts.
Okay.
It's either 100, or you can leave with some blaster holes in you.
It's 100.
Lovely. He starts moving along the floor, and he says, come with me. And he waves you with him. And you notice he's lither than most huts that you would normally know about. I mean, you've dealt with him for a while, but you're still a little bit amazed by the fact that he's able to keep himself so seemingly fit, whereas every other hut seems to be just a globule of snot.
Yeah.
And he turns to the droid for a minute, and he goes, Unda wakanda sa de da wakamba mwishta. And the droid goes, Unda waka na tatate dala. Ito waka tita nesno. And then he shakes his head. And he turns to you and he says, my droid tells me that one of my men was trying to get onto your ship.
He was.
And you see him pull out a blaster from a holster on his side, and he looks at the Gamorreans that are near your ship now, and he shoots all of them.
He shoots all of them?
Every one of them. You hear one of them go, and just drop. And he goes, I don't like business partners I can't trust.
And he says, then we have something in common. And I smile.
Sending quite the message there, aren't you?
When you smile at him, he stares at you for a second and he goes, and he smacks you on the back, which you reel forward a little bit. and he goes, you're funny. And he goes over to the ship, and he's leaving a slime trail behind him.
That's gross.
Just so you know. So when he gets on your ship, he's
that's
leaving.
Not always a thing with huts. I guess he's just a really gross one.
He's leaving mucus behind him on your ship.
Like I said, Dylan, he's a slime ball.
I'll clean it when I get home with the money that I make.
And he says, he goes into the Royal Raven with you and into the cargo hold, and he starts inspecting each of the boxes, and he has a data pad with him, and it looks like the data pad's scanning, and every time it scans, it goes, ding, ding, ding. And while he's doing this, he goes, so, how's Alzo doing?
Alzo, he's doing well.
I'm surprised he trusted you with such a large shipment, and all on your own.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at first, but I've run enough successful missions, and I guess he thought it was time for me to branch out on my own.
You would have been pretty screwed if there were pirates about.
Yeah, but I know my way around the ship. I could, I'm sure I would have been alright.
Oh, and he looks at you, and he actually shows a face of genuine concern for a second. Be careful. I've had reports of Imperial activity around our sectors.
I'll remember that on my way out.
And then he goes, make sure to do so. While I may threaten you rather regularly, I do appreciate your services, and I wouldn't want the spice to stop flowing.
Understood. And we don't want it to stop flowing either.
And he checks the last crate, and he says, well, looks like the job's done. Fantastic. How about you stay for a little while? We have a couple of guests for dinner tonight, and a lovely entertainment. My favorite temptress will be showing the rest of the slaves the ropes tonight.
When he says this, I'm like trying to hold back a cringe, and I just say, well, it'd be rude to refuse.
And he's like, yes, it would.
You know those grins that also kind of like fall like after you grin, kind of into like a disgusted face.
I'm imagining that too.
That's what I imagine your guy
Basically
doing.
it. Yeah. He says, so he's like, so I'll stay. He's like, but I should be off in the morning.
Fantastic.
I don't want him to get worried about me.
In celebration, you can contact him right now. I won't keep your communications from reaching Alzo.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let your boss know, and we'll celebrate for a wonderful job. He starts heading back, and he leaves another trail of mucus. It looks like he's deliberately taking another path so he can leave more mucus.
What a sleazeball! Anyway.
In case you didn't notice, I'm really trying to make you hate this character.
Anyway.
I don't know. He seems pretty nice how he just like blatantly admits to like threatening you and then like insulting you. I don't know. He's pretty likable. I like him so far.
But he's also a sleazeball, which is why he's great.
He seems like a wonderful, lawful, evil bad guy.
Yes.
All right, so he gets off your ship, leaving another disgusting trail of slime, and he's leaving you free to call Aslo as.
Yeah. Now the problem with that inner monologue, I don't have a communicator that has interplanetary communication.
Your ship can handle that.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go onto my ship and I'll make the call.
Well, there you go. Dang it, Dylan.
Cool. So
just assume you have what you need. Otherwise, Aaron will tell you if you don't.
Okay.
Remember, this is a super narrative form of play.
Yeah.
Don't worry too much about the small stuff.
Yeah.
So I go onto my ship, and I'm going to call my boss.
The ship intercom beeps in, and you see another Rodian answer, and the Rodian goes, "Banda kunde tituidwa," and you understand that to be, who are you calling for? Who is this?
This is Zeke. I'm calling for the boss.
He clicks off for a second, and you see in front of you a small blue alien with flapping wings and a little elephantine snout, and you know it's Aslo, who is a Troidarian.
One second, Aaron. I love how you made the Rodian guy have the same voice as the goblins when you started speaking in English. He had a goblin voice, and I was like, is he really doing the goblin voice?
That's funny. Anyway, Aslo?
Oh,
right.
Sorry, my brain went blank for a second.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing, Zeke?
Doing well. I just arrived a little while ago, and Fendo inspected the cargo. Everything is good. He invited me to stay the night. And I'll
you see him rub his hands together, and he goes, "He's gonna wire me my credits, right?"
Yep, he said everything's good to go. He just said that he wanted me to stay the night, and I'd be headed out in the morning.
You just got me 40,000 credits, my friend. Yes, you're fantastic. You'll be getting 5%.
Awesome.
And he goes, "You celebrate, have your fun. Come back tomorrow. We'll discuss your future in our wondrous company. You're doing good work, Zeke. So proud of you. You make an old smuggler so happy." And you see him wipe a tear away.
I like this guy.
I'm glad I can help.
And he goes, "All right, go have your fun."
All right, I will.
And he clicks off.
That guy is rather pleasant for a Toydarian.
That's what I was thinking.
If you make a Troydarian money, they love you.
And I just made this guy a lot
of money.
Like, yeah, the moment you cost them money, though, they fucking hate you.
You made me money, but you lost me money. What are you doing?
You son of a bitch!
I love you. I don't know what to do with you. Get out of my face. Get out of my shop.
He basically just made 38,000 credits. But advice for him.
Alright, so, you are now free to move about the cabin, my friend. However, for a moment, we're going to jump characters for a second. Yeah. Leah, you are in your cell again, in what could only be called clothing by the people of this planet.
She's going to be practicing the only thing she really can do, and is singing. And because that's really all she has, I'm assuming.
And you notice the other Twileks in the cage with you are practicing their voices too. Some of them are dancing, and they're not doing it in joy. It's literally they're just making sure that they're ready for tonight. Because you've seen Fendo get upset before.
Mm-hmm.
And those girls don't ever work as entertainers again. They usually just are herded off to the labor department.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking about while you're singing?
Mainly just thinking about how she hopes that there's no one too terrible at the party tonight. It's bad enough that she has to deal with the Findo with his grabby hands.
Yeah. You see one of the Gamorreans eyeing everybody inside of the cage, and he goes, and he points at you, and he points outside of the cage, and you know that he's saying, "Come on, I gotta go."
I look at him. I go up to the cage. I just glare at him. And I just go to the door and I wait and tap my foot like I'm expecting him to open the door.
He looks at you, and you and him have had this same dance for about 5 years now, and he goes, and you know that to be "My Highness," and he bows like stupidly low and opens the gate.
I say, just try something, pig face. Fendo will have your pig skin for supper.
And you hear him grumble, like I'd ever.
And I just make like, you betcha, look at him.
And some of the girls file out with you, and one in particular is actually crying right now. And you know that that's not a good thing. Fendo doesn't like to see his girls cry.
I stop and I slap her.
Okay. I was thinking there was going to be like a tender moment, but okay. I'm assuming...
I look at her dead in the eyes and I push her against the cage. That was our cell. And I say, you do that in front of Findo, and you'll get worse than just the labor camps.
So I'm guessing you are trying to coerce her.
Sure?
Yes, it's a coercion check. You're intimidating her.
Alright. Coercion.
So what's your presence?
My presence is a 3.
And what's your coercion?
That's what I'm trying to find right now. Coordination. Coercion is nothing. Actually, coercion is based on willpower.
Oh, that's right. What's your willpower?
It is a 2.
Oh, that's not great.
Yeah, it's not. But he's not trying to be nice. He's trying to set her straight because it'll make it worse for everyone else.
Yeah. So I want you to roll your 2 ability dice,
which is the green one.
Which is the green one, and 2 difficulty dice, which are the purple.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. Awesome. Okay. So you see her sniffle.
Trust me, you don't want to see what happens to the girls that make Findo upset.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I wipe the tears from her eyes, and I pat her head.
And she goes, thanks, Leah.
I just walk off, and I do that, like, promiscuous girl walk, as I kind of wink at the Gamorrean as I walk by.
Well, fuck. Look, I don't know what to do with that. He says that in pig speak.
I say, it's showtime, ladies. Put on your game face.
You see all of them put on their best practiced fake smile. The girl who's crying puts on a smile. I mean, it's not very, convincing, but, it's better than her walking in there crying.
Yes.
And they funnel in. Zeke, at this time you've been seated with Fendo, and we're going to go a little bit before the girls walk into the room. You have been at his table, and there is all sorts of hot delicacies, which for you means a bunch of really slimy-looking food that probably isn't ingestible by anything that isn't a slug.
I was going to say, Huts will eat, like, fish.
Yeah, and half of it is still alive and moving.
Oh, yeah, there's that, too. You also know that it would be very rude not to eat anything.
Yes. Also, Aaron, I don't know if you know this about Rodians, but Rodians secrete a odor, which to humans is kind of nasty, but to Huts is almost like a cologne.
Oh.
So much so that Rodian corpses sometimes they're used to make a certain dish for Huts because of that. It has that aroma to it that they like so much.
Well, that explains why he likes you so much.
It also, please don't be that guy, Aaron. Don't be the guy to serve a Rodian that has food with Rodian.
Oh, because I haven't been, the guy that makes you a cannibal before. Yeah. That's not my MO at all.
Gosh dang it, Aaron! But
that this guy wouldn't necessarily be that evil.
Anyways, you see him eating, some of the like really slimy puff balls inside of a big bowl of what you can only guess is slime jelly to keep it fresh. And he's laughing, and it's kind of like pouring down his face, but he has the decency to wipe his mouth. And he's laughing at some Gamorreans doing a juggling act, and he goes, and he takes his vapor tube. Zeke.
Yes.
Zeke. What did Alzo say to you, by the way?
When I called him?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. He basically said, good job, and he's really happy. He looks forward to more business like this.
Well, that's interesting, because I wanted to discuss some business plans with you.
With me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hut to man. Rodian, rather.
Okay, I'm listening.
I want you to be an exclusive trader to me. And I want you to leave Alzo's trading company.
And not that I'm against it necessarily, but it piques my curiosity as to why.
Because you're an up-and-coming young smuggler, and having you on my team working for me will put me in an advantageous position.
I could see that. I do have a lot of experience in the smuggling.
He smiles and he starts laughing. Not humble, are we?
Hey, I'm confident. That counts for something.
Indeed. Now, my friend, you've been delivering to me for 2 years now, and you've brought me a lot of business. So, under my order, you would be getting paid 15% of all shipments you make. And you would be working around the clock.
Okay. 15%. Now, that sounds great. But if I'm working around the clock, when am I going to have time to spend all this money I'm making?
There will be periods of time when I'll have you settle down. We can't have you running all the time, but when you are working, you'll be working non-stop. But that also means you'll be making a lot more money.
I like this.
And he says, he puts another slime ball in his mouth, and he says, think about it. Think about it.
And my guy, he's just kind of like stroking his chin.
What I really like is Fendo may be more fit for a hut, but he's like...
He's still as disgusting.
Yeah, he's not the slightest bit disgusting, revolting, and just unpleasant as any other hut.
And he says, yeah, you think about working enjoying ourselves tonight. And you see him clap.
And I turn my head to whatever's about to come out.
You are now looking at a slew of Twilek women. Some are green, some are blue. However, there is only one Ebony Twilek, and she seems to be leading the herd. There's 7 in total, and the three of them stand on either side of her, and she gets up to a microphone, and you see this weird look enter Fendo's eyes, almost like he's falling into a trance. And from everything you've seen about him, he's a disgusting person with like almost no regard for art except for the art of smuggling, as far as you know.
It seems like he has an unusual appreciation for their beauty.
Yes, and the Twi'lek girls on the very ends of the row begin dancing. The girls directly in front of them begin humming, and then the ones in front of them begin singing. And finally, the Ebony Twilek opens her mouth, and she starts singing as well. What does Leah sing, Ryan? That's right, I'm putting you on the motherfucking spot, bitch.
What kind of songs are usually famous, like on it's Dantooine or
Tatooine.
Tatooine. All right.
Well, there's the always and ever present dun 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 dun.
No,
That's bar music.
It'd be funny. She literally just opens her mouth, starts dancing a jig, and starts singing that.
Well, you could sing the song of now I'm put on the spot. Fuck you, dude. You can sing the song of the Fall of the Republic. Fendo kind of likes that one because that was when he started getting his rise to power. The Republic's fall was actually the moment he seized the greatest opportunity. And he began his very steady and slow but steady rise to power. However, I would like you to make a charm check.
Okay, I have a better one for that. So I'm okay with this.
So what's your presence?
It is a 3.
And your charm is?
My charm is a 1.
Alright, so you get 2 green and 1 yellow, and the difficulty is 3. You know that Fendo expects nothing but the best from you.
Okay. I would also like to roll one of the force tokens and flip it.
You want to flip a force token? Okay, so now you have 2 yellow and 1 green. And 3 difficulty.
Okay.
And just so you know, Fendo's look unnerves you, as it always does, because it's a look that you've seen before in far too intimate ways.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll.
I'm rolling.
Ooh!
Really? Dang, that's terrible.
What is that?
That's a threat.
That is a threat. That means something bad is about to
So that
happen.
means he didn't necessarily fail. He didn't succeed, though. And, you remember that girl who was crying?
Yeah.
You hear just the slightest behind you, and you see Fendo get distracted for a second, and he looks over.
Frick. That's what she's thinking right now in her head, as she hears the sniffling in the background.
And he pulls out a blaster, and he puts it on the table, and he just looks annoyed. And he hasn't done anything yet, though, because this is going to be a 3-part contest where you'll be making this check 3 times.
Okay.
And he waits. He starts tapping his fingers
When
on the table.
pull his blaster out, I'm going to visually watch him do this, turn my head and see him. What kind of blaster do I know?
It looks like a light blaster pistol. It's nothing crazy. You know Fendo's not one to get extravagant stuff.
So
he gets what serves him.
It's not like a DL-44.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, in addition to singing, now, to kind of distract Fendo a bit, I'm also going to start dancing.
Okay. I want you to give yourself a one boost die, because you know Fendo loves it when you start singing and dancing.
Okay. So that means I'm back down to 2 green, 1 yellow, and 1 blue now.
Yes.
Okay.
And after you make this charm check for your singing, you're going to make an agility check for your dancing, which will be at a lower difficulty, and that'll conclude the 3-part contest for this.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question. Does Brian's character recognize me? Because I've seen him a few times.
You've been there a few times, but you've never been invited to dinner with Fendo.
Got it.
You may have seen each other in passing, but you don't know each other in any sort of friendship way or anything other than having seen each other.
That sounds like it could be a card game. Dinner with Fendo.
Dinner with Fendo.
Anyway. Okay.
So roll now. The difficulty's still 3 purple, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm rolling. Ah, please don't fail. Please don't fail. Oh,
shit, son.
Thank you!
Holy fuck. Okay.
3 success and a triumph.
So for those of you who don't know, a triumph is basically the narrative version of a critical hit. It's that moment where literally everything changes, and because this game is so beautiful in its narrative capacity, I'm going to give you the handles, Ryan, and I want you to tell me what that triumph does. Now, you know you've succeeded. Fendo is absolutely pleased with Punch at your beautiful voice. In fact, you're performing better than normal tonight. However, you could use that triumph to almost bring him to tears.
Okay.
Or whatever you want to use it for.
While I'm singing, I just I kind of point towards Fendo, and I give him a wink, and then I kind of like wag my finger over to the girl that was crying, and I tell her to come here. And when she does, I'm just going to start dancing with her in a very, very sexual way, in addition to my singing.
Okay. I'm assuming you're using the triumph to both get her to stop and to get him more pleased.
Yes.
Okay. You see Fendo's very large hut tongue like pretty much droop out of his mouth as he grabs another slime ball and just like puts it on the tip of his tongue, and it curls around it, and he slurps into his mouth, and he's just like so excited to see this. Zeke, you couldn't be more disgusted at what just happened next to your face. Because you got an up-close view of a hut tongue, which is basically a scaly version of a normal leathery, disgusting 3-foot-long, almost tail.
A regular one.
Act like you've never seen 6-foot-long nose hairs before.
However, you know that Fendo is happy as can be, and you don't even need to roll the third check. Fendo just he starts slapping his palms together, and he goes, "Beautiful girls, beautiful," and he takes his vapor tube and he blows smoke into the crowd, and it turns into a ring that floats around you. And what are you doing, Dylan?
When he clapped, I was clapping with him.
As a part of my triumph, can I do like a hula hoop move with the ring of smoke?
Yes. and he's just smirking at this, like that's and he turns to you, Zeke, and he goes, "That's why she's my favorite."
And I look at her, I say, I can see why. She's very talented.
Yeah, she is. And you see him like kind of rubbing his chest a little bit, and he pulls out a cloth from his holster strap on his chest, and he like dabs its slime on his face. And he says, "You've done excellently, girls, excellently. You can rest for the evening."
She bows and signals the rest of the girls to bow.
They all follow your lead. And when you exit, the girl who had been crying, she just straight up hugs you and goes, "I'm so sorry. Thank you."
I just make like a this close thing with my hand. This close. And then I just walk away.
And you all go back into the cage. Zeke, you can see when the doors open that there's about a 20-foot hallway that leads to a right turn, and down that 20-foot hallway you see some bars put up in the back, and you can do with that information as you will.
Okay. I say, I turn to him, to Findo, and I say, that was quite the amazing show.
You should see the other things that she can do.
Gosh dang it.
You must take real good care of them. They perform well for you.
Of course, I want all my performers in top-notch shape.
Would you mind giving me a tour sometime?
Of my girls' facilities?
Or just of the whole place?
Sure, why not now? Assuming that you will be a future business partner.
Yeah. He says, well, if I am to do business with you, I should know what the base is like.
I'm assuming you're trying to negotiate with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your negotiation check. And do you have any talents that would give you a bonus? Because I don't remember if you do or not.
Okay. And would that be negotiation? No.
Yes.
I don't have points in negotiation.
Okay.
But I have a presence of 3.
You have a presence of 3?
And
okay.
Negotiation is, but yeah, presence.
Alright. Do you have any talents?
I have a talent.
What's that?
My talent, I'm pretty sure it's a combat talent. Let me look. Yeah, it's a combat talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your difficulty is upgraded because he doesn't know if he can trust you or not. So that's 2 purple die and 1 red die.
Oh, snap, son.
Crap.
Dylan, please don't die. He might shoot you. I'm letting you know this.
I think he knows.
I'm pretty sure I know. So 3 green die it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And roll.
Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Give yourself a boost die, too, because you have that smell.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So do I get 3 green and a yellow, or just 2 green and a yellow?
3 green and a blue.
Ooh, and a blue. Okay. Sweet. Alright, and roll?
Mm-hmm. Dude, you didn't put in the...
Yeah, you have to put the difficulty die in there as well, Dawn.
Oh, sorry.
So it's 2 purple and 1 red.
Against your 3 green.
Do you want me to just roll the 2 purple and the red, or do
No,
I...
you need to roll the
all
whole
of them.
roll.
It does all the math for you. Just roll all the die.
Okay. So, Fendo looks at you and he goes,
Tell you what, I'll give you a tour of some of our facilities. Because, let's face it, I like you. You're my kind of scum. But, until I have your full cooperation, I won't show you everything. There's some things I want to keep hidden from Alzo.
Understandable.
and he starts slugging his way towards that door that was just closed.
Yeah, and I will follow him. Is he still leaving a trail of slime everywhere?
Don, yes, it's him.
Assume that there is always a slimy trail behind him.
That's so gross.
So don't walk behind him, otherwise you might slip.
I'm walking adjacent to him as best as I can.
So he turns to you and says, "So, you wouldn't happen to be wanting any company tonight?"
If you're offering.
Well, you know, I'm almost always a businessman, and normally I would charge you. But the shipment of spice you just gave me will get me somewhere around 100,000 credits. So, yeah, I'll give you someone tonight. And he leads you further down the hall, and you see Wookiee in a cage. You see a couple of Rodian sleeping in a corner, and then you get to the Twilek cage, and you see the 7 girls in there, 2 blue, 4 green, and the one Ebony.
The crying one, was she blue or green?
She was green.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought she was one of the blue ones.
Okay, my guy is deeply, this is troubling.
You wanted to see this.
I know. I wanted to see how bad it was.
He speaks to the Gamorreans, and the Gamorreans go away, and he goes, "So, which one would you like?"
Aaron?
Yes.
I know what he's saying. Can you please translate for me?
Oh, yes. He's saying, move away, you stupid pigs.
I just stick my tongue out at the Gamorreans when he says this.
I'm going to see them all, and I'll look them over.
All right. You look them over, and almost all of them look like... The appropriate word, I guess, would be subpar specimens. None of them look particularly well fed or agile, except for the Ebony one. She looks like she has muscle, and she looks lithe.
Yeah.
Like she could go. It looks like she could win in a fight if she got to it.
She's very muscular and toned.
Yeah, I looked them over. I said, well, it's obvious why that one's your favorite, but it wouldn't be right to choose her. I'll take that one. And I point out the one who was crying.
He goes, hold on. Do you like Leah? As I'm not opposed to sharing.
She was amazing tonight. No
He's
doubt about
just thinking, oh crap, I have to deal with fish lips.
And besides, I'm going to be honest, the rest of them are inferior to her, and I want to make a good impression on you, so you will truly consider our agreement.
And my guy turns to you and he smiles. He says, "Good man."
He laughs and he smacks you on the back again, and you hit the bars just a little bit.
Leah giggles.
And he says,
Leah.
Yes, Master Fendo.
You'll be entertaining our good friend Zeke tonight. Now, Zeke is a prospective business partner. I want you to treat him the same way you would treat me.
And in your head, you just see a flash of chains wrapping around Fendo's neck.
She kind of just like, her face twitches like for a second, and then she says, "Of course, Master Fendo, but you always know that you're my favorite," and winks at him.
He goes, "Flattery's gonna get you everywhere."
And he looks at you, Zeke, and he goes,
"I'll lead you to your chambers for the evening."
He says, "I appreciate it."
And he unlocks the cage, and allows you to come out, Leah.
I do so.
He leads you both forward, and he says something to the droid in Hut, and it sounds like Wondoku para donde la ko. And you know him. He's saying, make sure the place is locked down tight tonight. I don't want any interference happening with my clientele. And the droid skitters away.
Okay.
He leads you upstairs, and while most of the building is sandstone, this looks like it's well polished sandstone, which is still kind of coarse and gritty, but
it's nice.
It's better.
It's smoother. And he shakes your hand. He holds his hand out to you, Zeke.
And I would shake it.
The moment you touch his hand, it's cold and slimy. And he goes, "You and I are gonna make good business partners, my friend. Good business partners."
Definitely. Now, I have a few more questions that I can talk to you about in the morning, but thank you for all the entertainment tonight. I truly appreciate your hospitality.
When you say this, I just rub your arm and I say, "Trust me, the entertainment's just starting."
As Fendo is slugging away, he laughs.
That's great. And I guess I will enter my room with the Twilek.
Yeah, she enters the room and starts taking your clothes off.
After as soon as I get in there, I'm just like, whoa. We don't gotta jump straight to that.
Oh, I see. Would you like a private dance first? And she just kind of looks at you like you're looking at her back, and she just kind of looks over her shoulder and winks at you.
I say, man, you're good at this. But okay, inner monologue time.
Inner monologue time. Takes a minute to gather his thoughts before he says something stupid.
Basically, my guy is like really torn in his situation right now.
Should I do her and then save her, or should I just do the right thing?
Like, he wants to connect with her and talk to her on like a human level. When I say human level, you know what I mean by that.
On a humanoid level.
On a humanoid level, But she seems like she actually enjoys this, and he doesn't want to like.
Dylan, you would know that no one would enjoy this.
Yeah, your entire backstory is around liberating people who are forced to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
You just know that she's good at what she does.
She's a good liar, basically, is what you know.
Yeah, she's really good.
Like, I'm impressed. I almost thought Ryan didn't want to get away.
Pretty much. I was like, man, he's good. Anyway, so I say, to be honest, would you mind just talking to me for a little bit? I flew all the way here by myself.
Inner monologue of her just thinking, oh, he's one of these.
Hey, Ryan, that's better than fish lips.
Yeah, now I have to sit here and listen to your problems all night.
Yeah, I mean,
like, you realize she just wants to get it over with. You freak it, and then she can let go and be on with it. Anyway. She just looks at you and says, well, of course. And she comes over and just kind of like swirls her index finger on your chest. And then she kind of pushes you into a seat. And she says, I'm all ears.
I appreciate your enthusiasm. And I would take quick question. I'm assuming I've been carrying my blaster with me this whole time, right?
Yeah.
So I would take it off, and I would set it down. Because, Ryan, you would know before you push me over that I have a freaking blaster rifle on my back, and that just wouldn't work. So.
So?
You fall in the chair and you're just like, ow, my back.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be uncomfortable. So I take my blaster rifle off and I set it down. I take a seat. I say, "Can you be real with me?"
She just raises an eyebrow, or the Twilek equivalent of an eyebrow.
I think they have eyebrows.
They have eyebrows.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, I'm gonna make sure that they have eyebrows.
I'm pretty sure they're just bald, and they're just kind of like these protruding, like, lumps on their heads.
They may have, like, ridges that are more protruding. No, they have eyebrows.
They have eyebrows.
Oh, yeah. Then, yeah, she raises an eyebrow. Kind of like she's unamused.
Anyway, so what do you? So you just do that? You don't say anything?
Yeah.
I say, "How is it living here?"
She looks around. She walks over to the door and puts her ear up against it. Does she hear anything?
You don't hear anything.
She lets out a sigh that somewhat sounds kind of like relief. And she says, "What do you think?"
I think that it's probably a lot like what I've seen a lot of places, which isn't good.
Trust me. What you've seen, what you think you've seen, it's probably a kindness compared to what we get treated like here.
How long have you been living here?
5 years or more. I don't really remember. It's
Were
been
you,
so long.
who were you in service of before that? Or were you free before?
I don't really feel comfortable sharing that information with someone I just met. Especially someone who I can't exactly trust.
I understand. It's dangerous for you to trust people like me.
Dangerous to trust anyone. You just seem different, I suppose.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I have a unique perspective.
How so?
Well, when I was very little, my parents were merchants and our ship got raided. My parents were killed, but they spared me so that they could sell me as a slave. I was sent to the Outer Rim on the borders of society, and I worked as a slave for a decade. Out in the fields, sometimes in the house, but usually out in the fields.
She nods her head as you're saying all this.
My masters were kind at times, but for the most part, pretty harsh to us. They recognized that they paid a lot of money for us, and so they treated us like assets. But that doesn't necessarily mean they were nice to us. Like they treated us like you would treat a tool. You don't want to misuse and abuse a tool.
That's how being a slave works.
Yeah.
She kind of just gives you like a duh face.
Yeah.
It's like, I was basically a slave. It felt like being treated like a slave.
Pretty much. And after all those years, a bunch of the other guys had enough, and we organized and overthrew our masters. we escaped, and I won my freedom. I have done a lot of traveling since then. Went to school, got an education, began working as a merchant guard, and eventually got into the spice trade. And no matter how much I try to forget what happened, I can't. And as I go through my business with Findo and others like him, it's always really weighed heavy on my heart to see people enslaved like I was or worse.
You guys hear a robotic clanging passing by. Doesn't seem like it's stopping at the door, but it's like...
She just kind of like puts her fingers to her lips like in a shushing motion when she hears the clanging.
Because, yeah, you're closer to the door, so you'd probably hear.
She walks over and she says, "You should watch how loud you say such high and mighty ideals. Not all of us have the fortuitousness of being freed from their captivity."
The clanking is gone now.
Your sympathy is touching, but I doubt you can really do anything.
I've helped slaves before, but I'm just one man. Do you ever do anything outside of the palace?
Do I ever do anything outside of the palace, Aaron?
Fendo had you learn very specific dance techniques outside the palace from instructors. Like he bought good quality instructors. So the only time you spent outside the palace was when you were a little bit younger, around the time he first got you, and it was specifically to learn dance. But if you decide, so you could have gotten away every once in a while, maybe, and done a few things on your own if you wanted.
I say that then.
But nothing recently.
Trust me, when you're the master's pet, he tends to keep a very vigilant eye on you. But at least I get fed. And I don't always have a blaster trained on my forehead.
My guy, you just see like my guy, like this very forlorn look on his face, just like he's just like he feels helpless, you know, because he wants to do something.
Trust me, Dylan. Think about how my character feels.
I know,
she's basically accepted like the way she has her life set out.
I get that, and that's heartbreaking to him that you just are almost okay with it. And
Not necessarily okay. More like she realizes that there's nothing that can be done about it.
Exactly, and that's what he's trying to figure out. Is can nothing really be done about it, or can nothing be done about it on your own? And my guy, he just says to you, "That's understandable." And I can't help everybody, but that doesn't stop me from helping where I can. And the real reason I wanted to look around today was so that I could know there was any way to help you guys.
If there was even the slightest chance of getting away, it'd probably be now, and you'd probably only be able to save me. Unless you do something else, but that just seems like it'd be way too risky.
Okay, character knowledge time. My ship is docked in his bay.
Yes.
But it's not locked in his bay.
Yes, it is.
That is, it is true, it is locked. However, you do have rotating turrets.
So you can blast the clamps off your ship.
Oh.
And also, you could probably just fly out of there. It would do a little bit of damage to your ship. But you could probably get out of there.
Question, Aaron.
Yes.
Do I know if the palace has anti-air turrets on it or around it?
Fendo, like I said before, isn't very extravagant in terms of weaponry. He's a realist. He knows that he's not going to be dealing with air issues most of the time. He's actually never had to deal with anybody flying into his space and getting past the few ships that he has guarding the place. So no, he does not have any turrets.
But there are ships guarding the area.
They're guarding outside space.
Okay. So we'd still probably have to deal with that when trying to leave, unless we somehow manage to shut down their communications.
That is true.
Yes, and I'm trying to create a strategy in my head, because if I escape with you tonight.
Would you like to know some of the actions that pilots or non-pilots could take that could possibly scramble communications? Since you are a pilot and you would know these things?
Yes.
Okay. You could, in fact, attempt to jam. And this would cause a jamming in their communication systems. It's an average computer's check. So, essentially, if you're able to do it, it would, for a few minutes, make it very difficult for them to communicate to their outside ships.
Which would give me a window to get into my hyperspace route.
It'll give you enough time to get into orbit, and depending on the patrol routes, if they're unlucky enough where the jam continues while you're in orbit, then yes, you could get into hyperspace. If they're not unlucky enough to be jammed continuously, they can then communicate. And if any are near you, then you'd have to deal with them. But jumping to hyperspace, you can do that, but then they would track you if they were near you. And they would have a reason to.
Yeah. And if I break her out, he would probably not only put a bounty on her, but a bigger bounty on me. He'd probably put a bounty on her to probably like a dead or alive, preferably alive. Would like the alive bounty would be much higher. And then it would just like he'd be like, kill this guy.
This guy. Screw this guy. I want him dead.
This motherfucker.
Unless I came up with a really good story, which would kind of screw over Ryan's character. Like in the middle of the night, she stole my blaster and made me fly her away. Held me at gunpoint.
My girl's kind of screwed either way. I mean, I can't play a campaign if I'm just a slave forever.
Yeah. So your character's gonna get screwed.
Yeah, I knew that coming into this. I knew that it was going to be difficult for my character.
I feel obligated to screw myself over in this position, because now not only will Findo hate me, and I will lose my awesome job offer, but I'm going to make my current boss angry, because he trusted me with his ship. I'm stealing his 100,000 credit ship, and I'm potentially losing one of his best clients. I'm at least
You're pretty positive that this isn't a potential loss. Fendo is never going to deal with Aslo again if you do this. However, you know that Aslo won't be terribly put out. He's got other clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Aslo wouldn't be a major. He'd just be sad that I left.
He would be
He'd be upset.
He'd be upset. He might put a bounty on you.
But would he really, though? Would he want to put a bounty out on Findo's guy?
He would put a bounty on you.
I get that, but if I'm working for Findo, that would be kind of risky territory.
See, he doesn't think you're working for Fendo. He thinks that you screwed him over.
Got it. Well, I have to pee.
If you continue with this, and it all depends on whether or not you can lie well enough for them to believe you.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
Yes, it does.
We're in a tight situation here.
Or I could just agree to work for Findo, work for him for a while, make some money, and then try and smuggle her off at a later date.
Leo had mentioned that there was a Wookiee in one of the cells. He could potentially be useful in getting out of here if we need some backup.
I turned to her, I said, I don't speak Wookiee.
I don't either, but I'm sure he knows common speak.
Are you sure about that?
He's a Wookiee.
Have you seen him understand people before?
Findo would have killed him if he wasn't able to understand what he was saying.
Okay, fair enough.
He's like, good point. Findo's kind of a jerk.
He's like that is sound logic.
Fendo's a bit of a douchebag.
So I'll be right back. I gotta pee super bad.
This is fun. I'm glad that I've been able to up the character traits of Fendo.
You're not making it easy. That's all I'm gonna say. This is a very challenging, because there's multiple ways I've thought of approaching this. You could sneak out and try and just leave silently. Just like sneak into the command room. There they have the clamps. Kill anyone who's there, hopefully, without making too much noise. Unlock the clamps and leave. And that might go smoothly, might not. Or we could go with a prison break, because he does have a ship with a decent sized crew capacity. Kill some of the Gamorreans, go in and break out all the slaves, and then we'd have a better chance of leaving with the manpower. Or some other option that's possible that I'm not thinking of.
Indeed. All of this is dependent on whether or not you succeed at your stuff. And of course I'm not making it easy. Ryan, when have I ever made anything easy?
Okay, guys, I know.
I know you're not making it easy.
Kind of. I have my plan if we manage to escape without dying.
Okay. Dylan,
Alright.
Dylan, just letting you know, the plan to escape is probably more important right now. Let me tell you, it's not going to be easy. Alright?
I say, I look you over, I say, do you know how to fight, should it come to that?
She just kind of looks at you. Trust me. You don't stay alive as a slave as long as I have if you don't pick up a few tricks here and there. Let's just say some clients, they like to get very aggressive with their playthings.
And I take it you don't appreciate that.
Let's just say sometimes the playthings don't appreciate being played with roughly.
I'll be right back. You guys can continue.
Yeah, understandable. All right.
Love you.
Are you comfortable leaving your sisters and everyone else here?
Trust me, I'm not very attached to most of those other girls. They might last maybe a month, or they make Fendo upset, and then he has them sent to the labor camps. Or worse, he might just kill them.
Does Findo have a rancor?
Aaron.
You know that Fendo wouldn't spend money on a Rancor because that's just it. Again, Fendo is a practical person. The only thing that you think that he spent money on that's extravagant is probably his vapor tube.
She says,
and I know that he's an upstart, so...
Go on. She says, what do you think? This isn't some hollow vid. Get your head out of the clouds. Why would he have a rancor?
Other nuts have rancors. I don't know.
The media just makes you believe that. Did you see what I did there, referencing Star Wars movies? Anyway.
Shut up, Ryan. I said, okay. Well, my next question is, can I trust you?
Let's see. You'll probably die if we fail. I'll probably die or be treated horribly. So why would you not have a reason to trust me? It would work out terribly if this failed.
And I'm helping you, so yeah. I mean, you have lots of reasons not to betray me. I'm just saying you could.
Freedom? Or making Fendo like me more? Fendo already likes me, so I really don't see why that would benefit me.
Got a point. Okay. Alright, let me think. Do you have any personal effects here that you would like me to pick up, or that we should get on the way?
She just looks at you with a very blank stare and she says, you were a slave at one point, right?
I was.
Did you have any personal effects?
I had a couple things that I considered mine that they let me keep around my person and use like tools of the trade. They weren't actually mine, but...
Yes, and I have my tools of the trade. And she kind of just like pushes up her bosom. And then she just raises an eyebrow at you.
Are you trying to seduce me?
No, I'm trying to say you're an idiot. Why would I have personal effects?
Shit. Dropping some science.
You know you're really rude for somebody who I'm trying to save.
You know, I don't really like being asked really dumb questions when my life's at stake.
And I like to be thorough before I put my life at risk.
Trust me, if
I
I had something I wanted to get, I would let you know.
Okay. Inner monologue. I like out of character. I can just see this like going so different if your sister was here.
Yes. Holy crap, it would be going so different. She'd be like so nice to you. She'd be like, please save my sister. You don't know how bad it is for her. I just would do anything for her.
Pretty much. I say, do you have anywhere to go after we get away, or would you just stick with me?
Let's worry about getting away first before we think about that.
Fair enough. Alright. So, from my knowledge at my trips here before, there's not that many, or what I know, I don't think there's that many guards around my ship. But it is locked into place.
It is. And no, there aren't many, but there are usually 3 Gamorreans, which are dead now.
Yeah.
He may have put
new ones in, or he has droids guarding it.
Yep.
I think our best shot would be a distraction of some sort to give us some time.
What do you recommend?
Well, first of all, the droids would be a good place to start. Gamorreans are one thing, but the droids could probably contact people faster than those idiots.
You got a point. Is there a way to hack the droids remotely?
Do I look like a hacker?
No. But you look like someone who knows more about this complex than I do.
If I had to guess, it would probably be in the control room. Might do it. Question, does Findo have restraining bolts put on the droids?
No, because all of his droids are made specifically to respond to him, so he doesn't need them to be restrained.
Okay. Then,
and you know that there's no central control room to shut them all down. Again, this has to do with extravagance. He has things that work, and that's all he usually pays for.
And I would just say no.
Okay. I say, how are your gate, the slave gates operated?
Keys?
Oh, old-fashioned, huh? And the Gamorreans have them?
This one Gamorrean has one. And then Fendo keeps the rest on himself. Those are the only ones that I'm really aware of.
Is the key to your cell, is it like a universal key for the other slaves?
You know that it is.
Yes, I believe so. I've seen the Gamorrean open the other cells with it before.
We can probably use that to the advantage. Does that Gamorrean like you?
Let's just say that he doesn't hate me, but we don't have the best relationship.
Okay. And would you be willing to sexually distract him long enough for me to come up and take care of him?
Trust me, I'm willing to do a lot of things if it means I could get out of here.
Okay. Because if it's just one Gamorrean, that can be handled.
Question. Do you have something less loud?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Blaster shots isn't exactly the most welcoming thing.
Does he have a blaster?
They use vibro axes. They're Gamorreans. You should have seen them on their hips. They all carry them. Gamorreans can't aim for crap.
If you can disarm him through your feminine charms, I don't think he would be too resistant to anything I would have to say to him with a blaster pointed at him.
I'm trying my best. I'm not a miracle worker, though. Let's just hope that he's exceptionally horny tonight.
Do you know, he's usually the only one there, right?
Is he usually the only one there?
Yeah. And not all of them have vibro axes. It's primarily the ones who guard the ship.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know that other Gamorreans have truncheons or knives. Not all of them have vibro axes.
Okay.
But they're all melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard, this thing I forgot his name, Fendo. I heard Fendo say to the droids to tighten security around here. He really doesn't want any sorts of incidents happening tonight.
Yeah, which makes up my job a little bit harder. I wish I knew the droids patrols. pattern.
Trust me, they're loud enough. You can hear them coming down the hall before they even get there.
Almost as if on cue. Clank, 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 clank.
As it passes by, as to not be conspicuous, she's going to start groaning and moaning and making naughty noises.
Well, it was already gone.
Oh. I meant as he walked by.
Oh, well, thanks.
We both obviously stopped talking. Yeah. That's funny. Okay.
They think something's going down, they won't be suspicious.
It's funny that Droid's AI is so powerful that they can suspect things.
I don't know that. I just want to be actually cautious.
Anyway, I say, okay, if we can get this to work, he'll cooperate, we'll get the keys, we'll pop us out a Wookiee, maybe a couple of Rodians to help steer. If nothing else, they'll make a good distraction.
And the Twileks? Just gonna leave them there?
They'll just slow us down, and they'll most likely get killed if we try and take them. They're all weak, and I mean, you said yourself they won't last long. Plus, well, how many
because Fendo will put a blaster bolt through their skulls.
I'm internally calculating how many people I can fit on my ship. There's you.
You have
a pilot.
Have a cargo hold. They could, at the very least, stay in there.
That is true.
Yeah, I think I had just enough, because if I had the 2 Rodians on the guns, I had you and the co-pilot, and then I had Wookiee and 6 others. That would be just 1 too many, so 1 person would have to stay in the cargo hold.
Also, you just unloaded all that spice.
Yes, so it is empty.
Indeed.
Did he already wire me my credits?
He didn't wire you, he wired Aslo.
I know, and did Aslo wire me mine?
No.
Yeah.
Aslo's not going to pay you until he knows the job's done.
Which he knows it's done. He got his credits.
Yeah, but he wants to discuss business with you when you get home.
Yeah. Which I am planning on calling him. Anyway,
She just looks at you.
This is. I love how this just like evolved into massive prison break from freeing one slave. I mean, in all honesty, it's probably the
job whether you choose to accept it or not. Break out all these prisoners.
I want to do some good and help get somebody out of here, even though it's going to screw me over. You know what? Screw it. Everyone's getting out.
I mean, that is kind of how your guy would want it to go.
It is exactly. It's like kind of perfect the way it turned out. All right. Do you know where they keep weapons?
Do I know where they keep weapons?
No.
Then I say no.
I say okay. The Wookiee can probably kill things with his bare hands. So he probably won't need one, and then the axe can be used by anyone.
I giggle and I say, trust me, a Wookiee would do the best with a melee weapon.
But does he need it, though?
Trust me, he'd be making better use of it than me or any of the other girls. And those Rodians aren't much to speak for either.
Yeah.
As you speak to a Rodian.
Who's trying to liberate you and your friend.
I'm not saying that Rodians suck. I'm saying that they're freaking malnourished as well and weak.
Yeah. Plus, Rodians in general are known for being
weak.
They're known for being agile, not strong.
So weak.
Yes.
You're weak.
Anyway, so I say, all right. We'll give the Viper axe to the Wookiee. And if we pick up any blasters on the way, we'll do that. But I'm guessing we're probably going to try and avoid blaster fire for as long as possible.
Indeed.
Now, jamming their systems, can I do that remotely from my cell phone?
No, you have to be on your ship to do it, and you know that once you do it, you'll only have a few minutes.
Okay.
At best, 5. Normally, you'd have to get incredibly lucky to get anything more than that.
Okay. So that'll be our plan once we get to the ship, and we'll just pick up weapons as we go. Hopefully, we'll be as quiet as possible for as long as possible to avoid a firefight with our non-blasters.
I nod my head.
All right, so the plan's all put together,
Indeed, indeed.
and you guys are ready to go.
Yep, I'm
Yes,
good.
I asked that we wait until we hear the next droid patrol.
That's exactly what I was about to say. We're going to wait for the next droid to pass by.
Fantastic. And you'll find out what happens next time on Star Wars: Freedom from Fendo.
Such a cliffhanger ending.
I have been Aaron Justin Bryant from Table Knights Entertainment, playing the role of Fendo the Sleazeball. And man, was it fun.
Yes. Good job.
Yes.
Do your outros.
I'm Ryan Dalton from Table Knights Entertainment as well. It's been a blast playing a role that I don't normally get to play as a Twilek slave. Not normally used to playing like injured servants, but it was fun and different at the same time. But it was a pleasure.
And this is Dylan Dalton. It was a different experience, but one that I enjoyed, and I look forward to doing it again.
And as always, Table Knights Entertainment tells you, roll on.